Test, 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 test. Alright, I think I found the worst channel on YouTube. Again. It's called UFO Mania, and it has 423,000 subscribers. Fortunately, most of them don't actually seem to watch any of it. Maybe they're all YouTubers who subscribe for the same reason I do. Anyway, statue of mysterious woman with Star Wars-like headdress found in Mexico. Well, we all suspected it for a long time, but now we can finally prove Star Wars is real.
A 500-year-old...
Ugh, yeah. It's not just the worst channel on YouTube because of the content, it's also this. Honestly, even those awful channels that just show text on the screen are better than this.
A 500-year-old statue of a mysterious woman wearing a large, Star Wars-like headdress has been discovered in central Mexico.
Doesn't it look like those kind of pigtails that stick up off the top of your head? I don't know if there's a name for those, but you know what I mean. Yeah, like that. I suppose it is kind of unexpected in a 500-year-old statue, but then again it is just tying up your hair, it's not exactly rocket science. But also, yeah, maybe it's just a headdress. Either way, not rocket science. Also, it doesn't look anything like a twi'lek, and also, those tentacle things are tentacle things. So saying it's a Star Wars-like headdress is weird, because Star Wars doesn't have a headdress to compare it to. I get that what you're trying to say is that it appears to be a headdress that looks like a twi'lek's head tentacle things. I'm just nitpicking the way you wrote it, but honestly, the way you wrote it isn't even your fault, because it's not even your writing. Here's what I get when I Google statue of a mysterious woman with Star Wars-like headdress. The exact same headline copy-pasted from Live Science, California News Times, Newsbreak, Mysterious Universe, Science A to Z, iNewsly, Mahathian Post, Weekday Times. They all thought this garbage title was so impressive they just could not help themselves from copying it off each other. And UFO Mania is just another one in the crowd.
According to Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INA, the 6.5-foot-tall, 2 meters, limestone statue depicts a young...
So what UFO Mania couldn't help copying was not just the title, it was a major chunk of the article too. This whole video is just text-to-speech of the Live Science version of the article. So this was the first video that I really looked at from UFO Mania, and immediately it got me asking the question, what are you trying to accomplish with this? It's pictures of a statue side by side with a Star Wars character that looks nothing like it, text-to-speech of a couple paragraphs of a Live Science article, the description shows no details of what the point is, there's no comment below the video explaining what the point is. What are we trying to provide evidence for here, that Star Wars is real? Or is there even a point at all? Well, I wish I had answers to those questions. On we go. Picture of 100-foot-long snake sparks fears of mythical monster. According to legend, the Nabao was a terrifying snake more than 100 feet in length, and with a dragon's head and 7 nostrils. Okay, I know I said I like just text on the screen better than text-to-speech, and that's true, but it's not a huge improvement, is it? This is the level of effort that gets you 423,000 subscribers. And speaking of effort, this is copy-pasted directly out of a Daily Mail article. What an obviously realistic and absolutely not suspect picture. Very scary. It reminds me of that time an even gianter snake swam down our beautiful North Saskatchewan River, right through the middle of Edmonton. It was big news, remember? I think the Daily Mail might have had an article on it. Here's the photographic evidence. Sorry, is that too obviously faked? Alright, I gotta add some secret sauce here. Let me export that at JPEG quality 1, add some severe blur, export it again at terrible JPEG quality, and there we go. Now we got good photographic evidence. Looks real to me, at least as real as the Daily Mail picture. Are you starting to get what sucks so bad about this channel? Well, even though you already obviously get the point, we got a long way to go, so pretend you don't. If true, this strange photo says it all. What strange beings are hiding among us?
On the website Disclose TV, we can read the following incredibly strange story. I was in Peru with my daughter in 2015. I stayed in a small hotel when I was in Cusco.
There's our old friend text-to-speech again. Anyway, I guess thanks for providing a location at least. Your type of people often have a problem with that. Unfortunately, in this case, it's absolutely irrelevant and it just serves as filler.
Around 6 in the morning, music was heard in the corridor.
Oh my god. That's the supernatural thing that happened, isn't it? There was ghostly music with no apparent source.
My daughter picked up the phone and went to see it. About 6 months later I looked on the phone and saw this photo.
Okay, what does that have to do with the music? Well, nothing, obviously. The music was just filler. Go figure.
The photo was taken at the reception and my daughter left with the phone that morning.
Why are you telling me where your daughter went? Why she went there? There was music playing and she went to see it. She took the phone and then she took it over here and then she took it over there. None of that has anything to do with the picture. If this was anything even slightly interesting instead of just some guy moving while the picture's being taken, the only possibly relevant pieces of information you've given are that you were at a hotel in Cusco. We don't actually know which one, despite UFO Mania putting a picture of some hotel on the screen, if that even was a hotel, and the fact that it was taken at the reception desk. But even so, despite that information being potentially relevant, it's still incomplete and totally pointless to present when you don't present anything else that gives us any use for it.
I didn't use my phone to take pictures because I had a Canon camera and a GoPro.
I don't care about your goddamn camera collection. Your Canon and your GoPro don't matter. You didn't take a picture with your Canon or your GoPro. Just say, here's a picture that was taken with my phone. This is the kind of phone that it is. That's all you had to tell us. And of course you didn't tell us that. Now of course all I'm objecting to is the idiocy in the presentation of this story. I don't actually care what model of phone you have. I don't actually care where you were. I don't care about anything. It's a crappy picture of a guy who's moving. If you want to get a better picture, tell him to stay still. Why do you even own all those cameras if you don't understand that it's a good idea for the subject to stay still? Why do these conspiracy people so often own so much technology that they have zero comprehension of?
This image encourages me to normalize all the crazy things on our planet because it shows me how big and vast this universe is.
This picture does that. This one. It's a picture of a guy in front of a set of shelves with a clock and a lantern. Bigness and vastness are about the last things this makes me think of.
Okay, indicating that it was done for a longer exposure period.
You know, that almost sounded like an intelligent thought about how the camera works. The exposure was too long for the speed he was moving, so you get a bunch of motion blur. Unbelievably, that's semi-coherent, which makes the next part all the more confusing.
But the strangest thing is the human presence at the reception that appears to be an alien reptile that exposed its true existence for a second.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so motion blur, exposure, that was all just a slip of the tongue, I guess.
If the person who told the whole bizarre story didn't lie or make it all up, it suggests that we're dealing with an incredibly complicated paranormal case.
Yeah, incredibly complicated. Not sure we'll ever get to the bottom of this one. Now, sometimes when I do a response to really stupid things, I like to scroll down to the comments section and see what people are saying, because a lot of the time, even with the absolutely dumbest stuff you've ever seen in your life, the audiences of channels like this just lap it up. No critical thought whatsoever. But it seems this channel is so stupid that a very large percentage of the audience sees right through it. Motion blur is confusing to this channel, laughy face. Some reptilian use holographic layovers. That reptilian is using obsolete technology, one of their own outdated version of holographic imagery. Not all reptilians have genetic shapeshifting abilities. Some they depend on holographic technology. Cameras can pick up holographic imagery because that's essentially what a camera is. Okay, I didn't say they all saw through it. Okay, I needed this today. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. Thank you. People need to stop move when they are getting their photo taken. She needs to get a refund for her dodgy camera. Good catch. It certainly appears to be some shape-shifting plasma entity caught in the middle of a transformation. Alien got on a blue t-shirt. What a waste of time that was. You must think people are idiots. A shape-shifting alien gets a job as a hotel clerk. Makes perfect sense to me. Why did I ever subscribe to this channel? I will remedy that now. Okay, so the odd person is still somehow this dumb, but at least some of them have made it past this level, which is something, I guess. Okay, what's next? City of God found in one of the space images photographed by Hubble telescope. Heaven photographed by Hubble telescope. From the newspaper Weekly World News. Oh, the barrel really has no bottom, does it? Okay, it occurs to me there might be people in the audience who actually don't know what the Weekly World News is. They might actually not have grown up seeing it at the checkout counter of every grocery store. So for you little babies out there who don't know about the fine 20th century literature that is the Weekly World News, let me enlighten you from their own About page. Weekly World News is the world's only reliable news. We offer the highest quality investigative journalism on the planet. Weekly World News began as a print publication in 1683, growing daily ever since. Weekly World News has the most educated, loyal, and dedicated readership in the history of news. Throughout history, the smartest people on Earth have been loyal readers. In fact, many people have told us that Albert Einstein often read Weekly World News while riding his bicycle. Others tell us they have Albert Einstein's brain in their attic, which jiggles every every time it hears a Weekly World News story. Weekly World News is the authority on aliens, mutants, conspiracy theories, biblical prophecies, health cures, and wayward politicians. Weekly World News is the only publication in the world to cover the exploits of Batboy, Manigator, the Lake Erie Monster, PhD Ape, Palad the Alien, Itty Bitty Elephants, Bigfoot Hooker, and many other beings that the mainstream media refuses to cover. Now, in case it wasn't clear, this is basically the Onion of its day. And of course, it did not start in 1683, it started in 1979. If you believe anything you hear on the Weekly World News, you're basically making their point for them. Now, because I'm absolutely delighted to have heard about this again for the first time in like 20 years, and because I've just realized that the Weekly World News still exists online and has videos, let's take a break and go take a look at a couple of those videos.
Unlike other media outlets, Weekly World News brings you unbiased reporting, free of any commercial conflicts of interest. And today we'd like to introduce our new sponsor, Mind Cleanse Herbal Supplements. With so much information flying around these days, your brain can become critically stressed. Think less critically with Mind Cleanse. Mind Cleanse helps you absorb our hard-to-swallow stories with an easy-to-swallow formula.
On second thought, this does seem like something I should be taking seriously. Clearly, I've been missing out on some important information. I'd best check out another video to see what's going on in the world. Meet the gorillas of Walmart. Walmart has many stores in America, but only one can claim mountain gorillas as regular customers. This reporter checked the store's situation. Isn't that the cowboy from The Big Lebowski? They have gorillas in the frozen food aisle, as well as in aisle 6. Yeah, obviously that gorilla's really there. I mean, they have a picture. Ugh, 2 pictures. How can I possibly argue against so many evidences? Okay, that's enough, I'm bored. Back to the real video. Oh, right, as usual, it's just going to be explaining the article, which in this case is from the Weekly World News, and therefore that's all I have to say. Normally I would try to give some sort of rebuttal beyond just dismissing the source, but the Weekly World News' whole MO is openly making shit up. So, that's it. So I guess at this point the question comes up, is UFO Mania serious or is it supposed to be satire? Something akin to the Weekly World News or The Onion. Well, I'm not really sure how. Most of the videos here seem to be just dry text-to-speech or just text recaps of random articles from all over the place, not just satire sites. There's no attempt at humor, there's no attempt at originality, no indication of any sort of joke. The About page does say all videos are for entertainment purposes only. Okay, fine, but that's just the kind of disclaimer that psychics put on their stuff as well. That doesn't actually mean that this is not meant sincerely. I mean, it's possible that it's not, but then what's the motive? If this is all meant as some sort of joke, well, I've seen plenty of fake joke channels and websites like this where I understand what they're going for, even if I don't find it that funny. But if the person running this channel doesn't believe any of it, I don't know what the hell the point is. Any ideas? Leave them in the comments, I guess. Now, one other thing that confuses me about this channel is it has a lot of that same kind of content that we see with people like Gina Maria, whoever all those other randos are. Hey look, here's a light, here's a reflection, here's a lens flare. It must be aliens, it must be spirits, it must be a war in heaven. And this stuff is just re-uploads of people's videos with, again, no hint of irony. And there's a lot of it on here. If it weren't for that Weekly World News article, I don't know if I would even be questioning the sincerity of this channel, because it's basically the same thing as every other channel I'm subscribed to that covers similar topics. I don't know. Anyway. Orb filmed at front door. Possible alien abduction. Witness as missing time. New Hartford. And that's a drone taking off. You can even see the lens flare of the 2 lights on either side of it. That's what's producing all that light, obviously. The exposure's set high enough that those lights make a big circle instead of being independently visible, but the lens flare gives it away, as if the way it moves wasn't enough already. Here's an example of the kind of thing I'm talking about, just for clarity. Witness states, I woke up on the floor and found out an hour of time was missing. Well, I guess he should have drank less. Source, MUFON. Yeah, I never would have guessed. Same place as the war in heaven that was just car headlights reflected in a window. I gotta admit, I'm having trouble keeping going with this. Listen, I love to respond to really dumb stuff. I find it massively entertaining. I mean, it's also kind of painful at times to realize just how bad the critical thought capabilities of human beings can be, but it's still funny, it's fun to engage with. But in this case, if this channel's actually sincere, it's so low tier that the comedy's kind of gone. How can I even be entertained by the fact that anyone is willing to accept this? I don't know, maybe I'm just in a bad mood about it. Maybe tomorrow it'll be funny again. My attitude towards this stuff does tend to shift a little bit on a daily basis. Some days I just get so entertained by it that I can't stop, and then other days, well, other days I just wish I could forget it exists. Anyway, let's do one more. UFO sighting while driving from Nassau to Suffolk County. Okay, so driving down the highway, there's an airplane, probably going to JFK Airport, which would be on that side of you on that route. A little bit of fog, kind of messing with the way the lights look, but totally normal. So what happens? Does the UFO fly in and blow up the plane or something? That'd be cool. That'd really pep this video up. I'm trying to make out what's being said there, but it's pretty hard to hear over all the wind noise. What is? You haven't shown us the UFO yet. Is it somewhere in this empty patch of sky and I'm just not seeing it? And I think that's it. Oh, the airplane was supposed to be the UFO, wasn't it? Ugh. I'm really glad this is the last one. Seriously, what is it with these people and technology? Like, I would excuse it if you just time traveled here out of the 12th century. If cameras and Photoshop and drones and airplanes were completely alien concepts to you, you'd never dreamt of them, let alone encountered them. Then yeah, I could understand this level of confusion. But you're in a car driving from Nassau, New York to Suffolk County, New York. And presumably you didn't just arrive there from some tribe that was recently discovered in the jungle. You're speaking English and you sound pretty American. So what's the excuse? It's a normal-ass airplane with normal-ass lights seen through the fog. How does someone get like this? Like, despite a constant exposure to the modern world, you still can't manage to figure this out? Like, I get it, right? Okay, you're going through life, you're not all that bright, you're the reason why everything has to have a warning label, but surely your mind is functional enough to at least recall seeing an airplane before. No? Oh my god. No, honestly, I need to take a break. I just need to, I don't know, grab a screwdriver and tighten some cabinet door handles, or make some cupcakes, shave my toes, I don't know. It doesn't matter, I just gotta do anything except this right now. Well, thank you all for tolerating that. Before you go, if you would, please do give the video a like and subscribe. Consider signing up to my email list for one-day early access to videos. There's 8,400 people on there right now. It's going great, but honestly, I'd love to have a lot more people on there. It just reduces my dependency on any particular platform, gives me an easy way to communicate with you if anything ever happens, and it's oftentimes a more reliable way to inform you of videos than YouTube is. So do me a favor, head on over to list.logicked.com. All you gotta do is type in your email, click submit, you're done. Thank you very much if you do, and thank you as well to my incredible supporters on every platform. I've decided what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go dip my balls in freezing cold water, because it's cheap and still more pleasant than this. Goodbye.